Today we are going to review ratios and rates. So, number 1 says that Haley is making cake for her party and she needs to make 6 servings of cake for every 3 people. So if each cake pan contains 12 servings, what is the minimum number of cakes she needs to make in order to have enough to feed 21 people? So she needs to make 6 servings of cake for every 3 people. If each cake pan contains 12 servings, what is the minimum number of cakes she needs to make in order to have enough to feed 21 people? So first off, we need to know how many servings we need for 21 people. So if it's servings over people, it tells us that there are 6 servings per every 3 people. Okay, and we want to know how many servings 21 people would need. So 21 would go on the bottom and servings would go on the top. Okay, so if we cross multiply here, 3x equals 6 times 21. See, 21 times 6. 6 times 1 is 6, and 6 times 2 is 12. So we would have 3x equals 126. Okay, and then divide by 3 and divide by 3. So 3 goes into 126, into 12 4 times, and into 6 2 times. Okay, so x equals 42. So this is how many servings that she needs in order to feed 21 people. Okay, 21 servings. It says each cake pan contains 12 servings. So how many times will she have to fill that cake pan up? What operation is that? I need 42 servings and a cake pan has 12 servings in it. How many cake pans do we need? What operation? It is division. So you're going to take 12 and you're going to divide it into 42 to get your answer. Okay, go ahead and press pause and finish this problem out, and then press play when you have finished. Next problem. Enrique and Lillian work on a math project. Lillian spent 4 minutes for every 3 minutes Enrique spent. Okay, so while Lily spent 4 minutes, Enrique spent 3 minutes. So I'm just going to kind of set up a little ratio. Both Lillian and Enrique began their math project at 10 a.m. Enrique finished at 12:30. What time did Lillian finish? Okay, so they have a 4-to-3 ratio. They started at 10 a.m., so what time lapse is between 10 a.m. and 12:30? That would be 2.5 hours, right? Okay. So if they have a 4-to-3 ratio, if we look at our answer choices, we see that Lillian takes longer, right? So if Enrique finished by 12:30, then what 2 answer choices can it not be? It can't be 12:20 and it can't be 12 o'clock because those are both faster than Enrique and she took longer than Enrique. So we want to convert these to minutes. So in 2 hours, it is 60 minutes times 2. So 2 hours is equivalent to 120 minutes. And a half of an hour is equivalent to 30 minutes. So he took a total of 150 minutes on his project. So equals, we don't know how many minutes she spent, but we do know how many he spent. We cross multiply and we get 3x equals 4 times 150. Okay, so go ahead and press pause and finish this and find X and press play when you have finished. Okay, so you should have gotten 200, which means 200 minutes. Okay, so now let's convert that back to hours. So we know that 2 hours is 120 minutes. So what is 3 hours? That would be 180 minutes. And that gives us 20 minutes left over. So it took her 3 hours and 20 minutes. So if she started at 10, 3 hours would be 11, 12, 1. And then 20 minutes would be 120. Okay, number 3. I want to go ahead and press and pause right quick to say that I would like you on all of these problems to please try them on your own and then just use this as support as we're prepping for STAAR. It won't do too much good to not read them on your own and try. Just get a start. If you just go through the video with me, we're not doing the best prepping possible, okay? So, a car traveled 687.5 miles in 12 and a half hours at a constant rate. If distance is determined by the equation D equals RT, where R is the constant rate in miles per hour, how far will the car travel in 16 hours? So, we want to set up a ratio here where it's miles. It's talking about miles and hours, right? So, the first miles that it has is 687.5 miles. And how many hours did that take? It took 12.5 hours. Equals, and this is the part that we need to find out. So it says, well, how far will it travel? That's the miles. So we don't know that. How far will it travel in 16 hours? So hours goes on the bottom. So here you would cross multiply and divide to get your answer. So you can finish that and then continue on when you are done. Joan has 2 jobs, and the table below shows how many hours she worked at each job and her earnings during a 2-week period. Over the next 2 weeks, Joan's scheduled to work 25 hours babysitting and 15 hours dog walking. Based on the information in the table, what will be the total earnings from both jobs if she works her scheduled hours? So babysitting, it looks like if she works 15 hours, she gets $123.75. But here she worked 25 hours, right? So we can set up a ratio of hours over earnings. So hours over earnings tells us that for every 15 hours, she earns $123.75. And this says she worked 25 hours over X. And then she worked 15 hours dog walking. So 15 hours is, so 8 over $90 is equivalent to 15 over X. Okay, you could also get a unit rate, and a unit rate would be saying 15 per hour. So it's, I make $123.75 per 15 hours. And then how much is that in 1 hour? And then you would multiply that by 25. Or you could just do your cross multiplications here. And this is going to give you what you need. And then you would add these 2 answers together. So 15x equals 123.75 times 25. And finish that out. And then 18x equals 15 times 90, and finish that out. Number 5. The price of 5 boxes of crackers at a store can be represented by the equation 1775 divided by 5 equals K, where K equals the constant of proportionality. What would be the cost of 7 boxes of crackers? So it's saying that 5 boxes equals $17.75 altogether, right? So $17.75 represents 5 boxes. And it wants to know what would be the cost of 7 boxes. Well, $17.75, because of constant proportionality, well, that's how much 5 boxes are costing. That's not what the question's asking for, right? So we want to say, well, what is it per 1 box, right? So in order to figure out per 1 box, we just divide this right here. So $17.75 divided by 5 goes in here 3 times. 2 left over. Goes into 27 5 times. Minus 25, 2 left over. And goes into 25 5 times. So it's $3.55 per box. And how many boxes did she buy? 7 of them. So that means we want to multiply by 7. And that should give you your answer. Okay, I'm going to pause the video right here, and then we'll continue on with a second video.